Hello, welcome to my channel for Evolved Humans. I'm Ms. Day. Okay, so the first thing that I was thinking, I heard that song Red, Red Wine. That red, red wine. Yeah, okay, so the thing is, okay, I feel like as soon as I started hearing that song, it's almost like someone is feeling a really painful nostalgia when, you know how the holidays are coming up? I think that a lot of times people, I feel like I instantly felt the message being that you need to create new traditions with yourself. Like you need to decide on new things happening and just let the time that has passed be past. Because sometimes if we focus all of our energy on things that like we used to enjoy, but we don't get to enjoy those things with the same people, or we don't get to enjoy those things in the way that we thought we would be at this time in our life, a lot of times that can feel really, really lonely. And I think that's what's happening. So I feel like you can have a new mindset. So whoever this reading is for, the instant feeling I got was there's a nostalgic feeling of clinging to the past. And the message is very much like you have to replace those things. You have to replace the things that suck with new positive experiences. Otherwise, you're just going to keep like reliving what might have been or what was supposed to be or something like that. So, and the thing instantly too, it's like I feel like when you carry those cycling sort of things and like those wants, just letting those wants kind of have a home still in your mind, I feel like that's a way of not stepping out of the healing you've already done into like a new chapter. So whoever you are, you've already done a lot of releasing emotional wounds and like bad connections. And I feel like you have a clearer mind and you have more space in your mind and your thoughts for your own voice now. You've already eliminated a lot of external stuff that I think was kind of like weighing you down and even holding you back. And so it doesn't seem like you emotionally, like I feel like you're at peace in a way because there's a lack of disturbances. But I also feel like this is where crazy, I was just thinking earlier today that Earl Nightingale, I've mentioned that person before. I haven't heard many of this person's speeches, but like a lot of what he said just feels so true today, and he lived so long ago that it's just a little bit weird to me. And it's coming into this reading because I feel like one of the weird things about that, like just think of your grandparents' age. That's like what this person would be. Whoever you are, like this is just an older gentleman way back. But it was when there was already television at home in people's homes, and people were already kind of overindulging in sitting and slothing and watching TV. And I feel like this reading is kind of saying like, of course you don't feel better. You're not replacing what's missing. Like when something is missing from your life, it doesn't mean that something has to remain missing from your life. All it means is like your attention, your focus is on it, but your focus is free to move now. Like you've done a lot of healing, and I feel like whoever you are, you feel like you can bear a lot more than other people. You know that about yourself. It's almost like your backbone is really, really strong. I don't even know. That's just what it feels like. I feel like you have a lot of strength under you, so much so that you don't have to boast it. Like you don't have to wear it. You just kind of know what you've been through, and you don't really have to like make it a show for other people. And I feel like that's part of this. It feels like there's a parallel Like whoever you are very much in tune with your own self. But I feel like that self is being held back by habits, lifestyle habits in your daily now, like in your activities that you are doing. I feel like what they're saying is change it. It's not just replace what's missing from your life so that you don't sit in the dark about it. It's more so like change things. Okay, so sometimes this is interesting. I feel like if you had a certain show that you used to watch with somebody, or like a certain show that you've kind of like eliminated from your life because you've matured out of it, like that stage or something, you're not as relatable to it anymore. I feel like this reading is kind of saying evolve. Like you need to step that up. It feels like this reading is basically saying like you need to step up whatever your daily activities are, because that's actually blocking you from moving forward, and you have everything aligned to move forward. Like you've healed so much that you're emotionally stable. And I feel like your mind is very intact, and I even feel like you have like an imaginative quality. Sometimes when we don't know what to do with that, it kind of just, it's like atrophy. It's like when you're not using muscles, they get weak. Like just imagine if you have a surgery on it. Like my brother had a knee surgery. So like one of his legs, obviously the doctor was like, it's going to get really, really weak because it's not being used. And that's really weird for the human body, but it's so rapid that happens. So it's like you're in a moment right now, whoever this reading is for, you are in a moment right now where you may not feel all joyous and enthusiastic yet, but like you have been set up to be. It's like you have been set up for this moment where you've gone through all of the work, and it's literally just you kind of holding yourself in place. And I feel like that comes down to those daily activities where like, don't continue trying to enjoy the things that used to serve you like in a kind of a sensation way, like the surface stuff like TV, music. Don't try to carry those into your environment today just because they were a part of it back then. Because like if it doesn't still move you in the way that it used to, then maybe it's time for you to seek something new. Like maybe it's time to start evolving your environment around you so that it can kind of be a solid foundation for you, because you've already really grown and stepped up. And I feel like the thing is with this reading, it's like it feels like the worry for you is that you have to feel alone around other people. And I feel like what they're saying is, no, you don't. You have to start experiencing different things in your environment that align with what it is that you want to be now. And that's another thing too that Jim Rohn said. I can't like ever not say this person, but one of the things he said that someone else said to him was, if you want to feel enthusiastic, act enthusiastic. Just pretend, like the fake it till you make it. Like that's not what I'm saying. Don't fake it till you make it. I don't like fake. That's not what I mean. But what I'm saying is like, make the environment around you reflect the new you, and maybe that will be enough of a stepping stone for you to be like, okay, that is my new norm. I need to stop worrying that I don't have a comfort zone yet and sinking back into that old habitual lifestyle, because it doesn't align with where you're going and it doesn't fill you up, and you know it. And I feel like that's what they're trying to tell you is like, you have all of this potential right here, and you've unlocked all of this potential in heart space. So they're like, it's all literally, you have done so much work that it's like your mind is full and you can hear your inner voice. You can hear yourself. So take control of that, because But take control of that by replacing it with something. Another thing for this, I just keep feeling like someone's watching too many TV shows and not enough like documentaries. I don't even care. This is what it feels like. I feel like I'm seeing someone who's watching like, the instant gratification types of media. And like, you're a consumer. I'm a consumer. Whatever it is that you're taking from the external environment and letting your focus live on it, that is a frequency of its own. So it's like, if certain things are not lighting you up anymore, they're not giving you fire, then why are you carrying it throughout your day? All that is dead weight. So it's like, I feel like they're trying to remind you, you're really interested in the natural world, and you're really interested in like, I think space. Literally, astronomy is what I just keep thinking is like, whoever you are, you have certain passions and interests that you just do not put your energy into. And they're like saying, do you see? This is how you fill up the space with yourself when you let go of all of those things that were really just distracting you from what you wanted. You fill it with things that you want to reflect off of you. That's what you do. You start to put the things into your world, allow things into your world that you find interesting, even if it doesn't feel natural, or maybe you don't pick up everything they say because you're not in a learning mode that day. But like, shouldn't you be? That's what we should be doing all of the time, especially if you're really like, you've done all of this inner work. The way to enjoy it is to start like filling in these little pockets in your life that fill you up. And then that's how you start. This is crazy. It's like, whatever it is that you consume in your daily life, whoever this reading is for, this is so weird. It makes me think of that analogy that like I've heard successful business people say, where they're like, who are the top 5 people that you spend the majority of your time around? Because typically you are at the same level of those people, because like, you just kind of surround yourself with whatever you equal, just energetically speaking alone. But in lifestyle, I feel like if you want different connections that are more evolved, like maybe you don't know what you look like in this new frequency. And I feel like what they're saying is, this is where you decide, what is the majority of information that I'm surrounding myself all of the time? Like, not just who am I around now, what am I feeding me? What is my brain taking in? Because I feel like you are much more imaginative and creative than you get to show externally. That's another thing I was thinking earlier today, which is kind of interesting, because I feel like it's coming in here instantly. I felt like there was this pull that someone needs to feel themselves throughout your day. Like, you need to be able to open up and like kind of activate certain branches of yourself that never really got to grow. And I was even thinking earlier today, like, what do you even dress like? Like, somebody isn't even enjoying living in this body. And I feel like you need, whoever this reading is for, they're like saying, stop watching other people live and stop imagining like that. You can just step into an imaginative state so easily that I think that's why sometimes we're drawn to like shows and fantasy type of stuff, made up storylines, as opposed to like actual true information. But like, you've done so much work and you are a truth seeker. So it's like, why are you filling your time with things that are not just helping you grow? And I feel like whoever this reading is for too, you're already kind of disappointed. And I feel like you've got to get out of the mindset that you're going to continue to be disappointed. Start proving it to yourself. Like, start proving it to yourself by kind of this stunted feeling. Start putting pockets of things that you just want to experience. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. But it's like, allowing your view to turn forward after all of this work that you've done and like this strong sense of self. Like, I feel like you've had a strong sense of self since you were small. You always knew who you were. You always kind of ran against the current. That's what it feels like. Like someone, whoever this reading is for, it's like you stick out. You kind of always did. Even if it was only in the back of your mind that you thought it, like you do. Something in there can really bear a lot more without kind of being destructive at other people with it. And I think that I think you can look like you've got it all together. And I feel like what you need to do is start proving it. It's like prove it to yourself that you've got it all together. And that's going to slowly uplift your view forward, like of your own, in your own future. And I just feel like whoever you are, you need to know that your imagination is so strong that you can kind of be pulled in. Some people are just kind of more impressionable, where some of us will mirror someone else's behavior quicker than we even think it through. Like, especially, just think of a kid in junior high. Like, a kid goes into junior high school and then suddenly they start doing things and you're like, where did that come from? Because it didn't come from home. Because they're mirroring something they saw out in the world that maybe they enjoyed being around, or maybe they just aren't strong enough in their own self-awareness to know they are mirroring something. So I feel like if you're giving in to these like old habits that are not necessarily building you up and aligning with what your spirit has grown to want to become, like it's in there, like you're just inside of yourself, just kind of waiting to move forward and holding yourself back with disappointment. Because I feel like you do not have, it's almost like you have this blank slate. And you think it's not blank because you have all the things you do. And I feel like the message is stop doing all of those things and see it like a blank slate. Crazy. So that's something that lately I've been going through my house, and one of the things that I've been doing differently just to alter the mood about it for my kids and myself, instead of feeling bombarded like, well, I have to get rid of this and I have to get rid of this and I have to get rid of this and I have to go through this and then I'll like what's left over. Instead of that, it's like, instead, I've started making a list per room for what I want in that room, and then everything else that's not on that list just goes. And that way, I'm not wasting my time on all of the stuff that I'm already aware of, I don't want to spend my life on. And that's what this reading is kind of saying, like, stop wasting your time that you finally get to be present in fully. Like, when you get sucked into it, some of you may think that you don't have energy, but the thing is, it's pulling your energy. That is your energy going somewhere. It's not that you don't have the energy to get up and do something productive with yourself and create. It's that you are being pulled into something as a consumer. So I feel like someone just needs to know that oftentimes when your energy can run the show, like when you're such a sponge, and especially after you go through a lot of healing, energy is way quicker to flow through you because you're a clearer passageway. And that's what this says too. It's like so much about having a clear mind. Like you have a lot going on in there. So I feel like it may feel physically easier to zone all of that energy into one other thing instead of you having to sort of organize and delegate all of the information that you could be taking in. What a crazy reading. Super fun. Okay. Also, you can trust your judgment. You can trust your judgment because I feel like you are an emotionally stable, you're in a stable place. That's a good time to take control. Like, you never want a lunatic to run the show. So like this is saying very solidly, you have everything lined up properly to run the show well. So they're like, so make your own show. What's your show gonna look like? Nothing wrong with seeing it that way. Like, if that can light you up, make your own. That's what that Earl Nightingale said. He was like, way back, like before we had it in our pocket, way back, he was the one sitting, and it was like a recorded radio program that was like him saying, you're watching people make a living and you're sitting there not living. Crazy. All right, I'm gonna end it at that. Thank you for subscribing if you are a subscriber, and if not, if the readings resonate, definitely let yourself receive them whenever you hear them. And I will be uploading hopefully a lot more consistently now. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.